Namaste to all of you and welcome to this webinar. In this webinar, I will share with you some of the details about the workshop that's coming up next week called the Flavour of Tantra. This workshop is starting on Monday, the 16th of November, and it continues for 5 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it will be starting at 12 o'clock CET, European time. And the sessions will be 3 hours per day. So 3-hour session with a small break and exercises, dialogues and question answers and theory leading to certain practices. Those will happen in the 3-hour sessions for 5 days. Now, I want to go directly into sharing with you for whom is this workshop applicable and how it will benefit. And then you can see if this workshop is something that's something that you would like to pursue at this time in your life. So there are a couple of different category of people who would benefit greatly by doing such a workshop. 1 is men, 2 women, and 3 couples. But in these you have different kinds of men, different kinds of women with different questions, different experiences, different strengths, different limitations in regards to sexuality. While the word Tantra, the name Tantra, involves much more than sexuality, it's a whole compendium of spiritual paths and occult spiritual practices. In the way the word Tantra is often misinterpreted these days, it's often thought about something to do with sex, sexuality, full stop. And while yes, the ancient Indian tantric system has certain teachings regarding sexuality, there's so much more to Tantra that is outside of sexuality. And in this workshop, however, we are focusing upon the sexual direction in Tantra, the sexuality, the tantric sexuality. And in that direction, if you're a man and you are aiming to enhance your sexual life, you want to make your sexual life better. For example, you want to feel more virile, to enjoy longer, stronger, harder erections, to be able to keep erections for a long time while making love, to be able to pleasure a woman in many different ways, not just with your lingam, but using your whole body as a sexual organ, then this workshop is for you. If you're a woman who is seeking to enhance her orgasmic capacity, if you are, as a woman, feeling, I haven't reached my orgasmic potential, or I do orgasm well, but I want to make it more deeper, then this workshop is for you. If you're a man or a woman and you want to direct your orgasms in a way that will take you further and deeper into yourself, deeper into an inner peace, into contentment, into happiness, into the realization of the Supreme Self, then this workshop is for you. Because sexual Tantra and Tantra globally is a spiritual path. Everything that is involved in Tantra is aiming towards cosmic consciousness. Another way to say that is every teaching and every practice of Tantra, the metaphysical parts of Tantra, is aiming towards truth, cosmic truth, eternal knowledge, eternal life, pure, unconditioned, spiritual happiness, a peace and a sense of spiritual freedom that everyone is longing for, even though they don't know it consciously, even though they don't admit it. Everyone is looking exactly for this. People look for these inner states in all kinds of external games, in all kinds of externalized desires and attachments, and they never find it. People look for happiness, peace, contentment, and love in relationships, usually done relationships, and they don't find it. They look for it in family life in terms of marriage, children. They don't find it. Superficially, yes, If you will ask people, hey, are you married and you have kids and you have a family and are you happy? And they'll give you, yes, we are all so happy, life is great, But when they look at themselves in the mirror, when they look into their own eyes, there's a big abyss of emptiness right there. And it's in everyone. People try to fill this hole with sex, with drugs, with rock and roll, with disco dancing, with money, more money, more money. Let me fill the hole with more money, right? With name and fame, with power. And history has shown us repeatedly, moment to moment, it has shown us that nobody attains to that peace and that happiness and that love that they are seeking by searching it from the outside. The sexual tantra is breaking that illusion that you're going to find it somewhere outside of you. You will never find what you're really looking for in terms of the truth outside of you. You may argue, but I came to this webinar because I want to hear about sex, something about sex. No, that's not why you came. You came to this webinar because you are searching for fulfillment. You're searching for happiness. You're searching for peace. Sex is one of the ways you think you'll find it. You came to this webinar because, like everybody else, you're looking for something. It's just that all of us look in the wrong places. People look for it in sex, and all the sexy people in MTV and Hollywood, they didn't find it. All the people who did smashing sex didn't find happiness. And they kept searching and seeking and looking and grabbing more and more. People tried to find love exactly in the same way. You love me. Somebody loved me, right? And the whole world is full of pop songs and heartbroken songs and unbreak my heart, don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart, you broke my heart. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, next Christmas I'll give it to somebody else, and the list goes on. Why? Because this is what life is, this is what love is for most people. Yeah, and they say, my heart is broken. But your heart is broken, and it will always be broken, so to speak. The heart is not really the heart, but okay, for now. Because you keep looking for love in all the wrong places. No one found it. No one found that love like this. And Napoleon and Genghis Khan and Adolf Hitler didn't find it in power, the happiness. Rockefeller and Rothschild and Donald Trump and the rest of the rich people didn't find it in money. And the famous people didn't find it in fame. And I was saying before, the people of family, they didn't find it in the family. So where are you looking? And are you even aware what you're looking for? So this workshop is about setting things straight, to get things clear. You're not looking for better sex. You think you're looking for better sex. And you can have better sex. And you may still not be happy if you have better sex, full stop. But Tantra is not just about enhancing your sexual life as a man or a woman or as a couple together, which also brings me to say that this workshop is for singles. If you're a single man or a single woman, you are welcome. And if you're a couple, you're welcome. Everyone, single or couple, can do the workshop. So the idea is there's a way of sexuality, a way of living out the sexuality that will take you to your supreme goal, will bring you to where you want to be, will bring you to a state of perfect and eternal and universal love, will bring you to states of compassion. That sexuality refined, sublimed, will bring you to happiness, to peace, to contentment. And that's exactly where the teachings of sexual tantra are directed. It's not directed only for the sake of making greater sex. Though there are many people who come to sexual tantra to make the sexual life fantastic. Men say, before I was doing sexual tantra, I was, ejaculating very quickly. Whether in 2 minutes or in 20 minutes, I was, done. And then they were also feeling, and the woman I'm making love with over here, she doesn't seem to be very satisfied, because I'm coming too quick. And for certain men, it's almost an embarrassment. They are ashamed of it even. And then these men come and learn Tantra. Of course, they have to practice the skills that are taught. And then they get very proficient at being able to hold back the ejaculation and make love for long, long periods of time and fulfill the woman sexually and also feel fulfillment themselves sexually. It has been noted by psychology and by life. We all see it around. And if you're a man listening, you might identify with what I'm telling you just now. For most men who are not yet Buddhas, who have not yet transcended the sexual desire and the sexual attachments. So for the average, ordinary man, the way they feel about themselves as a lover, in terms of their sexual prowess, sexual ability, migrates into every other aspect of their life. It migrates into their sense of feeling masculine. Their masculinity is determined a lot by how good of a lover they feel or they think they are. And they usually get that reference, that thing from a woman. If they see a woman is having great pleasure, the man feels wow. If they see the woman is like, then they feel, and if it happens like this again and again, then the guy scratching his head and being like, shit, I'm stuck as a lover. And the sad thing is, when most men feel they don't feel good enough as a lover, then that feeling of not good enough and the diminishing of the self-confidence in that particular direction migrates into every other aspect of life. It migrates to their job, to their business, to their ability to make money, to be able to, to socialize and whatnot. And so men come to Tantra to solve this one. And again, if they practice, they'll solve it. But that's not the end. You can always, as a man, come to Tantra and take this much and go and say, look, I came to enhance my sexual life, to develop my sexual confidence, to pleasure women to heaven back 100 times, I'm here to do this thing and to be the gigolo of the town. Sure, you can do that. I would advise, do better than that. And that's where this workshop is taking you. It takes you from giving you the ability to be the gigolo of the town, but not to stop there. To make love beautifully and to make it in the name of the truth as a man. Similarly for a woman. Women, ever so often, they complain, I don't feel that I am fully immersed in my femininity. I feel some things I'm blocked with some things. And so many women, says sexological research and shows all I experience in Tantra, so many women have not experienced the deep, fulfilling, feminine orgasms. Usually what women have learned from their girlfriends and from movies and porn or whatever, they have learned that the way to have orgasms is to stimulate the clitoris. Even while the man is penetrating her, she rubs her clitoris fast, and then she has a very explosive orgasm, and then it's finished. And so many women don't know what it is to have deep, multiple orgasms, profound orgasms. I say it again and again, the sexuality of a woman is much more stronger and deeper than the sexuality of a man. And it's sad that so many women have never experienced and never even scratched the surface of their own sexual potential. And then women come to Tantra saying, I want to make myself fully orgasmic, multiple orgasmic. I want to explore the different kinds of feminine orgasms, and there's 7 of them, and we're going to look at them and study them in depth in this workshop, correlate them with the chakras and whatnot, and then you can learn how to cultivate them, and you men can learn how to help a woman to reach those orgasms. You women will learn how to help the men to reach the deeper internal orgasms, which are also multiple in nature, different from a woman's, but it's the way the man experiences them. And you both will learn as men and women to sublime the orgasms, to bring the orgasms higher, to implode them versus explode them. An orgasm is a huge energy, or let me put it this way, during an orgasm, which is a mystical state, and we are going to look into this in the workshop. What makes an orgasm mystical? Why is it mystical? What's the potential, the spiritual potential of an orgasm? What's the magic potential of an orgasm? And not only that you learn to multiple orgasm and deepen your orgasms, but also to be able to spiritualize them, to be able to manifest those orgasms not only at the level of the genitals, but all over the body, all through the body. And you are not limited to a physical body. This is just what we perceive with our senses. But there's the gross structure, the physical structure, and then you have 6 more subtle structures, each one more subtle, more spiritualizing, more subtle than the one before. This is the tip of the iceberg. You have an energy body called the pranic body. You have an astral body, a mental body, a causal body, going all the way to the immortal spirit. And sexual tantra is about tracing. It's about not tracing. What do you say? About pushing the orgasm, not just physically, but at the level of the chi, at the level of the prana, at the level of the astral body, mental body, and deeper and deeper. That's how you spiritualize the sexuality. And not only that you experience the orgasms going deeper in that sense, but also higher, to manifest orgasms at the level of your heart. Imagine if you're a woman, you manifest an orgasm at the level of your breasts and in your nipples and all over your chest, and your heart center, Anahata chakra, blooms open. This is pure yoga. In Hatha yoga, you make asanas and you make pranayamas, activating the chakras. And when you activate a chakra, the chakra begins to vibrate at a certain frequency of energy and attune to a corresponding mahachakra, cosmic chakra out there in the universe, and it pulls energy. You pull a certain energy from the universe to you that's beneficial, superior. In this case, it would be, for example, related to the heart chakra, the energy related to love, true love, universal love. When you do sexual tantra, you put your orgasms over there, and your mind gets absorbed into it, because where will your mind go when you're having an orgasm? It's impossible to not be focused when you have an orgasm. And therefore, to move the orgasm higher, 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 ultimately all the way in the crown chakra, and to keep it there, and to keep imploding the orgasms here at the level of the crown chakra, this is what the sexual tantra is about. So, the focus of the workshop is, first of all, to look upon what tantra is and what tantra is not. Usually the first session will go into looking into this. Why? Because when it comes to sex, almost everyone has, at the level of their subconscious mind, some very twisted, dark ideas about sex. Let me make it clear what I mean by this. What I mean to say is that most people have grown up not in a tantric environment, but in an environment coming from the regular world religions and spirituality as we know them. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and whatnot. And in all of these spiritualities, sexuality is condemned. According to the Judeo-Christian Islamic God, according to the Buddha, sex is against spirituality. Sex is against God. And they can't be combined. And out of that teaching that sex is something that is in the realm of the devil, and if you are doing sex, you cannot be spiritual, and if you're doing spirituality, you have to go celibate. You have to end your sexual life. As a man or a woman, refrain. Just like a Buddhist monk or a nun or a Christian monk or a Christian nun, you go celibate. Refrain from sex. You take your vow of chastity, and you stay like this for the rest of your life, right? And these religions, these prophets, these gurus who founded those religions, all of them have said the same thing, that sex is a no-no. When it comes to the spiritual elevation and about the spiritual realization, sex will play no role in that whatsoever. It cannot. The only role it will play is that it will destroy your spiritual potential and your life generally. And this way of thinking is deep in our subconscious mind. anti-sex. Even today, where we are so sexually free and open, and people walk around half naked on the roads, and the television programs and the movies show sex scenes and whatnot, and you have a big industry of porn, and it's like, wow, wow, everyone's so sexually free and open, right? Actually not. It's a very superficial openness to sex. Most people at the level of the subconscious mind have shame, guilt. They feel, oh, it feels so good, but it's no. You're hypnotized like this. Now listen, the great religions and the great spiritualities of the world are not stupid. The prophets, the Buddha himself, the saints, the gurus who said sex is a no-no are not stupid. Not all of them made a huge conspiracy and said, you know what, we are all enlightened and we've reached cosmic consciousness and whatnot. Let's get together and play a global joke on humanity. No? Let's tell everyone sex is a sin and against God and against cosmic consciousness. And if you do sex, you'll never reach the truth. And just as a joke, a bad joke on them. Because they love it, And we take the last thing that they love away from them by playing this joke. Remember, these people were mystics, they were saints, they had no more ego games and nonsense anymore. So what I'm saying is that the religious view about sex and the views of the prophets and the gurus and the saints and the sages are right. That sex done the usual way, with the usual motivations, with going into it with the regular desire and the regular attachments to it, is your doom. Not just spiritually, but in so many other ways. It's your doom physiologically, physically, both for men and women. Because every time men and women make love the usual way, they lose their sexual energy. They explode the energy. They have explosive orgasms. For a man, you see it clearly because he even ejaculates, the liquid's out. And then, he's dead beat, right? Before the ejaculation, he was a lion of lust, he was making love, he was there, whoa. And then, I'm coming. And the woman is like, hey man, it's been 10 minutes, for God's sake, I'm not even warmed up over here. You want to at least go down on me? And he's like, oh, finished. What happened to the big stallion? What happened to the big hard-on? Finished. No? It's like you take out the air from a tire and a flat tire doesn't go nowhere. So, one of the reasons the mystics, the prophets have condemned the sexuality is because through the regular sex, men and women discharge a very vital energy. A vital energy which, when lost, the body loses strength, the bones lose strength, the tendons lose strength, the immune system becomes weak. And people don't notice it because you keep on losing it. They have nothing to contrast it. Like I save it for a while, like 3 months, I don't lose it. Then I compare. Then I lose it and see how it feels. It's like when I was in school, in biology class in the 8th grade, the teacher came up with an experiment in the lab. She takes a frog, she takes boiling water, throws the frog in the boiling water. The frog jumps out immediately. It gets a bit burnt and he doesn't like it. It jumps out. Why? Because he was on normal temperature and then BAM! Suddenly he's shocked in boiling water and he jumps out, just like you put your hand in fire and you're like, ah! You get it out, right? Then she takes another frog and she puts him in cold water and he's swimming. He's doing the frog stroke there. And then she starts putting the temperature in the pot, yeah? He's still swimming. So the water goes from cold to warm, warm to more hot. He's still swimming. And the water goes from hot to very hot. He's still swimming. And then it starts boiling. And the frog cooks to death. He dies. He gets cooked. He never jumps out. You know why? Because the difference in temperature was so gradual, he was not feeling it, like, wow! And he just stayed there, and he died. It's the same with us. It's the same with our neurology. That's why I say you're playing a guitar and you want to tune the guitar, the instrument. If you just play the same note again and again and again, You can't, you have to keep changing it, to hear the difference like this. So when people keep on losing the sexual vital force, men and women, through those explosive orgasms, they have nothing to compare what it would be physically, energetically, psychologically, at the level of the mind, at the level of the creativity, and at the level of meditation, spirituality. What's the difference? The difference is huge. And we're going to look upon this in the workshop, and that's why we have to see, why did most of the spiritualities condemn sex? See it properly, and then to see, does Tantra have the solution for it? Because sex is not the problem. It's the result of the sex done in a certain way that's the problem. Well, Tantra fixed it. And therefore Tantra has shown us that it's possible to meet these two, sex and spirituality, so well, so powerfully. And also when you understand why the most spiritualities went against sex, when you understand the reasons and you have a way to deal with the reasons, then you can go into sex clean. Then you can go into love making without the shame, without the guilt, without the feeling of, oh, I don't know if this is right or not. Because this is a spiritual path ultimately. And to embrace a spiritual path, you have to have all systems go in you. You can't have your conscious mind saying, oh yeah, I would love to do sexual tantra, and your subconscious mind, which is the big boss there, saying, yeah, but this thing is a sin and you're going to just go to hell for it. That can't work. Your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, all the parts of you, all resources in you have to be green light, green light, green light, green light. And this is what we're going to take care of in the workshop. We're going to see how sex and spirituality are indeed very friendly with each other. And when done correctly, sex can give you some of the most fastest spiritual evolution you can have. Of course, it's not like, I'm not comparing it like to something else. It's like, it's your aspiration, it's your longing. It depends on you how much you want to develop spiritually, but this is a path. So starting with the basic things about how as a man or a woman to develop your sexuality, to become a better lover, to be able to feel orgasms and to deepen the orgasms, to prolong the orgasms. It's a good one, huh? Prolong the orgasms. How long does an orgasm last? 2 seconds. 3 seconds, 5 seconds. How about a 30-minute orgasm? Yes, it's possible. I can do it, others can do it. Again and again and on and on and on and on. You'd feel your brain would burst or something thinking about it. You feel you're going to die in bliss. But you won't die to accept your ego, your sense of limited self, your sense of, I'm a little drop. Born then, will die then. Existing in a certain space and a certain, this little false identification, that's what will die. And you'll start feeling more cosmic. So, once again, prolonging the orgasms, multiple orgasms, both for men and women. Being able to spread the orgasm beyond just the genital zone and wherever else you want, experiences orgasms fully, and then direct those orgasms towards the quest about the truth. Direct those orgasms towards true knowledge, true love. Take your orgasms, take your lust. See, this is how Tantra goes. Tantra is taking the things which otherwise would take you down and using the same energy to take you up. The Tantrics, they have this very simple but beautiful analogy or metaphor. And they say that the lotus flower, which is so beautiful and which in India is a symbol of spirituality. Each of the chakras are called lotuses, poetically, yeah? And this one here is called the 1,000-petal lotus in full bloom, when it's open, that is. And this chakra opening results in nirvana. So the lotus is a very spiritual symbol in India. And they say this beautiful lotus flower has its roots in the mud, in the slime. From the mud, you get the lotus flower. The regular sex is mud. But if you do it in another way, if you do it in a special way, then from that mud, you grow the lotus flower. All the religions have condemned lust. Lust is a poison. Lust is a poison, you have to purify yourself, says Christianity, says Buddhism, says Tibetan Buddhism. Lust is no good. It's mud. Tantra says, lust, we can deal with it easily. Lust is not a problem. Because in Tantra, we can convert the lust. Lust will become love. True love. Not this achy breaky heart love. Not the Hollywood love. True love. Universal love. Pure love. Lust will become prayer. Lust will become cosmic consciousness. Your lust and the energy of the lust, the sexual desire, is exactly the energy from which you will grow the spiritual things, if that's also what you're interested in. You may simply take the path which is, I want to be a better lover as a man or a woman. I want to feel fantastic in my masculinity as a lover and extend it to other aspects of my life. I want to feel amazing as a woman in my love making and live out my femininity fully. And full stop, and that's what I want. Okay. Take that much. Again, I'm saying, this workshop is not going to stop there. Everything in this workshop is going to is attaching itself to that star, the star of cosmic consciousness, because just being multi-orgasmic will not make you any happier truly. You might think it does for a week, but you still will be in ignorance about who you really are. And until you know the truth about who you are, beyond your name, beyond your personality, beyond your astrological configurations, beyond all the things of the mind and everything you know about yourself and the world from your senses, when you are stuck in this little samsara, there will not be peace. So therefore I'm advising, if you're doing the workshop, go for the full Monty. Set your target to be liberation, truth, eternal life. That would be indeed something. So this was a brief about the workshop. We'll play it in a certain way where, depending on the amount of people, there'll be different kinds of questions. Depending on the kinds of people, how many men or women, there'll be different exercises. No, I will be speaking a lot. This workshop will be run by myself. I will talk a lot, but that talking is very important because these are transmissions which are given to you. Because how can you practice anything without the right theory before you practice? In everything in life, before you aim for practice, you have to get the theory right. Whether it's learning to drive a car and you learn the theory of driving and the rules of the road and all that stuff, theory, right? Or doing chemistry in a lab, you don't just go and practice, let's just mix this and this and this, boom, right? You learn the theory in chemistry before you go and play with chemicals in the laboratory. And you learn the theory of aeronautics and flight before you could sit on the plane and just push the throttle and take off the plane. You don't take off, you go crash into something. Theory is important. So you're going to get a lot of theory, but theory that is giving you the ability to practice. Right from day number 2 of the workshop, you men and women can start practicing these things already. In your home, in your bedroom, apply them. Come and share the next day your experience. Ask questions. And we can do this in this way. Anyway, enough of that. Namaste to all of you. And I hope to see you on Monday at 12 o'clock European time together. Let's embark on this journey of sexual tantra. Namaste.